My name is Ethan Miller, and for most of my adult life I believed that hard work, perseverance, and a little bit of luck were all you needed to succeed. And I did succeed. After years of grinding, building a tech startup from nothing, I finally achieved financial independence. I had a comfortable home, a thriving business, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've earned every single penny. I kept my success quiet, partly because I'm a private person, and partly because of my family. Have you ever faced such difficult choices with family? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of resilience and unexpected turns. My family was complicated. My mother, Eleanor, always had a soft spot for my younger brother, Leo. Leo was different. He was charming, charismatic, and utterly allergic to responsibility. While I was working 2 jobs to put myself through college, Leo was finding himself, usually on my couch, playing video games. He'd jump from one get-rich-quick scheme to another, always failing, always needing a loan that was never repaid. My parents always framed it as Leo being artistic or misunderstood. I, on the other hand, was the responsible one, the one who could always be counted on to fix things, to lend money, to never cause trouble. I loved my mother deeply, but her enabling of Leo created a toxic dynamic that pushed me further and further away. After my dad passed away 5 years ago, I pulled back almost completely. I just couldn't handle the constant demands and comparisons. I moved to a different state, focused on my business, and deliberately kept my newfound wealth a secret from them. I didn't want the drama. But secrets, especially financial ones, have a way of surfacing. My business, Innovatech Solutions, had just closed a major investment round. The local business journal ran a small feature on me. Local entrepreneur Ethan Miller, 40, secures multi-million-dollar investment for Innovatech. It wasn't flashy, but it was enough. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was my mother. Her voice, usually soft, was now sharp, almost accusing. "Ethan, is it true? Are you a millionaire? Why didn't you tell me? Why did I have to read it in the newspaper?" My heart sank. The peace I had carefully built was about to shatter. The very next day, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find my mother, Eleanor, standing on my porch. But she wasn't alone. Standing next to her with a smug, entitled grin was Leo. He was carrying a worn-out duffel bag. "Ethan, darling," my mother exclaimed, pushing past me into my immaculate living room. "Why didn't you tell us you had such a lovely home? So much space!" She looked around, her eyes calculating, not admiring. Leo, meanwhile, had already made himself comfortable on my designer sofa, pulling out his phone. "Yeah, Ethan, not bad for a nerd like you. Got any snacks?" My mother sat me down. Her voice immediately shifted from warm to stern. "Ethan, your father and I worked hard for this family. We always believed in sharing. And now that you're rich, it's time you shared with your family." I looked at her, stunned. "Mom, what are you talking about?" "Well," she said, taking a deep breath, "Leo needs a fresh start. He's had some bad luck with his ventures, and now that you're so successful, he needs a proper foundation. He's moving in with you." My jaw dropped. "Moving in? Mom, this is my home. He can't just move in." "Nonsense," she retorted, waving her hand dismissively. "You have so many spare rooms. And you can get him a job at your company. He's very creative, you know. He just needs a chance. A real chance, with a proper salary." Leo looked up from his phone, a smirk playing on his lips. "Yeah, boss. Maybe I can be your VP of creative strategy, but that wasn't all." My mother then looked me dead in the eye, her voice dropping to a serious tone. "And about your wealth, Ethan, you're our son. That means you should take care of your mother. I need a new car, and my retirement fund isn't as robust as it should be. You're rich, Ethan. You owe me." The word "owe" hung in the air like a poisonous cloud. I felt a cold dread settle in my stomach. This wasn't a request. It was a demand. My success, which I had worked so hard to achieve, was now being seen as a family ATM. For the next few days, my home became a battleground. Leo treated my house like a hotel, leaving his clothes everywhere, ordering takeout on my dime, and spending his days playing video games in my living room. He even tried to convince my staff that he was my new partner. My mother, meanwhile, became my personal guilt tripper. Eleanor, D. After everything I did for you, Ethan, sacrificing so much, is this how you repay me? Keeping all your millions to yourself while your own brother struggles? Ethan, D. Mom, I worked for this. Leo needs to work for his own money. Eleanor, D. He's not like you, Ethan. He needs support. You're just selfish. Your father would be so disappointed in you. The constant emotional manipulation and gaslighting were suffocating. They twisted my past, my father's memory, everything. They made me feel like the villain for simply protecting what I had earned. They even started criticizing my home, my choices, my entire life, implying that I had become too good for my family. The final straw came when I overheard Leo talking to a friend on the phone, laughing. Yeah, my rich brother's finally pulling his weight. I'm set for life. Just waiting for him to cut the check. My blood ran cold. This wasn't about a fresh start for Leo. It was about them taking advantage of me, openly and shamelessly. They had no respect for my hard work, my boundaries, or my peace. My father's words echoed in my mind. Ethan, true family doesn't take. They support. That night I called my lawyer, Mark Jenkins. I explained the situation, the demands, the emotional blackmail. Mark listened patiently. Mark Jenkins, D. Ethan, this is financial abuse and trespass. We need to set clear boundaries, legally. I knew what I had to do. It was painful, but necessary. The next morning, I confronted them. My mother and Leo were at my kitchen island leisurely having breakfast. Ethan, D. Mom, Leo, we need to talk. This isn't working out. Eleanor, D. What's not working out, darling? We're just settling in. Ethan, D. No, you're leaving. Today. Leo finally looked up from his phone, his face changing from entitled to shocked. What? You can't be serious, Ethan. Where are we supposed to go? Ethan, D. That's not my responsibility. You have 2 hours to pack Leo's bag. If you're not out by then, I will call the police for trespassing. My mother's face crumpled. You wouldn't dare. I'm your mother. After everything I did for you. Ethan, D. Mom, you taught me responsibility. Now it's time for Leo to learn it. And for you to understand that my boundaries are not up for negotiation. She started crying, trying to play the guilt card. Your father would be so ashamed of you. Throwing your own mother out. Ethan, D. My father taught me about earning what you have, Mom, not demanding it. And he taught me about respecting other people's homes. Something Leo clearly hasn't learned. The situation escalated. They refused to leave. Exactly 2 hours later, I called the police. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done. Watching my own mother and brother being escorted out of my house by uniformed officers was gut-wrenching. But it was also a profound moment of liberation. After they left, the silence in my home was deafening, but it was also peaceful. It took time for the guilt to fade, but with therapy and the support of true friends, I realized I hadn't lost my family. I had simply set myself free from a toxic dynamic that was never going to change. I offered Leo one last chance. Through my lawyer, a job at a company where I had an investment, with a fair salary and strict performance metrics, no special treatment. He refused, saying it was beneath him. He wanted an executive role at Innovatech with no work. He continued his cycle of short-lived ventures and loans from other relatives. My mother continued to call, initially with anger, then with dwindling demands, before finally settling into a quiet resentment. My success continued to grow. Innovatech Solutions thrived. I used my wealth to support causes I believed in, to help people who genuinely needed a hand up, not a handout. I even funded a scholarship in my father's name for students pursuing vocational training, believing in earning your way. My story is a testament to the fact that success can bring out the best in you and the worst in others. It taught me that sometimes the hardest decisions, like setting boundaries with family, are the most loving things you can do for yourself, and even for them. It freed me to build a family of choice, a community of respect, and a life truly my own. Have you ever faced such difficult choices with family? How did you handle it? Could you share your story in the comments below? And if this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of resilience and unexpected turns.